I grew up in a place that most people don't even think exists. This is me with my grandpa, this is me with my little brother, and as you can see, Wyoming was very brown in the 1980s. I first got into stamps just a couple of years after these pictures were taken, and growing up in a place that didn't even seem real to most people really gave me an affinity for other lands that seemed too exotic to really exist. Places like Eritrea or Thrace, or even the site of the shortest war in history, the Sultanate of Zanzibar. Let's jump over to Stamp Auction Network and let the stamps of Zanzibar tell the story that transfixed me as a child. The Sultanate consisted of these two islands, Zanzibar and Pemba, as well as a strip of land along the coast of what is now Tanzania and Kenya that ran 10 miles inland. By 1890, Zanzibar was a protectorate of the British Empire. When the British took over, they installed a sultan that was friendly to the British crown. That sultan was this man right here, Saeed Hamed bin Thwain, who, just 6 years later in 1896, died under very mysterious circumstances. Power was then seized by this man right here, Sultan Khalid bin Bargash. And Bargash was a huge problem for the British because he was not friendly to the British crown. They immediately issued an ultimatum telling him they expected him to vacate the palace and allow the British to install their own sultan. Sultan Khalid decided to ignore this ultimatum and instead barricaded himself inside of his palace with about 2,500 defenders. And on August 27, 1896, that ultimatum ran out at 9 o'clock in the morning, and at 9:02 the British opened fire on the palace. By 9:46, just 42 minutes later, the flag of truce was raised. At the end of the fight, over 500 defenders had died and only one British sailor sustained minor injuries. This 42-minute skirmish is known as the Anglo-Zanzibar War and is still considered to be the shortest war in history. After the defeat of Sultan Khalid, the British installed a new sultan who was going to be loyal to the crown. This is Sultan Saeed Hamad bin Mohammed bin Saeed, and he was the first of a long line of sultans who were friendly to the British crown, like this one, or this one, or this one. The stamps of Zanzibar don't only show heads of state, they also show the culture and traditions of the country. You also have pictures of mosques like these stamps here and here, as well as traditional East African trading ships like the dhow that's pictured on this stamp. You also see the influence of the British Empire with traditionally British designs like this 1949 stamp right here showing their entry into the Universal Postal Union. Zanzibar was given its independence from the crown in 1963, and almost immediately there was a civil war in 1964 where they installed a new Republic of Zanzibar. In fact, the overprints on these two stamps that says Jamhuri actually means Republic along with the year 1964, showing that the revolution had just occurred. And after 3 years of being its own republic in 1967, Zanzibar merged with Tanganyika and created the brand new country of Tanzania, which is where Zanzibar is located today. Amazingly, I found all of these stamps telling the story of Zanzibar in a single auction lot in the upcoming sale that's offered by Stamp Auction Network. It's lot 165, and it's comprised of 9 different pages that are both taken out of albums, as well as this Vario page and this stock page. And as you can see, it has various stamps from a couple of other African countries like Somaliland right here, as well as Tanganyika right here. Incredibly, all of this history has an estimate of only $30 to $60 at auction, and the current opening bid is only $30. There are hundreds of other similar country lots in this sale, and I highly recommend you go check it out and see what history you can discover.